Good morning. So, have you heard about the Starbucks effect? Me neither, but I'll get to that. Like most people, I have to start the day with a jolt of caffeine and kickstart the day. And more often than not, we end up at a pricey coffee shop where a 50-cent cup of coffee will cost you $6. But that's just the world we live in now, right? But anyway, in the past week, I've read two articles about the Starbucks effect. And it's weird because they're claiming that if a Starbucks opens in your neighborhood, it's a good barometer for your neighborhood going up in value. Starbucks has, this super expensive algorithm that they use to decide where they're going to put new coffee shops. And if they decide on your neighborhood, that's a good sign. Conversely, it's also the canary in the coal mine. If they close one of your coffee shops, the closest one to your house, that's a bad sign. But this actually equated the price of your house to how close to a Starbucks it is. And I think that's kind of a stretch. But the other article I read was it was a similar article, but it was about Amazon and Whole Foods. In Mill Valley, California, they had two Whole Foods and one closed, and people were complaining that their property values were going to go down. So is it really that important to be able to walk to a Starbucks or a Whole Foods? I mean, that just seems, again, it just seems kind of a stretch. And with Starbucks kind of falling out of favor for more local coffee shops, I really don't see how they can make that assumption. But it was an economist out of Florida that did the study, and I don't know what spurred the study, but he did the study, and those were his numbers. I'm not going to argue with them. So, but this is a brand new Starbucks. I'm in Davenport Village in West Lake Hills, Austin, Texas, and this is a brand new Starbucks. The average price of the houses around here is about $3 million. So, do you think having a Starbucks here is really going to affect the property values? Can go up or down based on the Starbucks? Before it was a Starbucks, it was a 360 Uno Cafe, which was a great little coffee shop, but it was small, locally owned franchise, and they just couldn't cut it. They lasted about 10 years. But does the Starbucks name equate that? The argument is that Starbucks and Whole Foods sell a lifestyle. They're not selling coffee and food. They're selling a lifestyle, which equates to a higher uh, uh, value for the neighborhood, which was very interesting. Ray Kroc said it best. He said they're not selling hamburgers; they're selling an experience. And I guess that's the same thing with Starbucks. They're not necessarily selling coffee. They're selling an attitude and a certain amount of affluence. And I guess so. I mean, if you're going to spend $6 on a coffee every day, you've got to have a certain amount of affluence, if not just be a little crazy. But anyway, I just thought that was a really interesting article. Both of them were. And after you read the second one, you're like, wait a minute, there's got to be something to this. But I don't know. Do you think would that make a difference for you if you're going to go buy a house? Let's say you're moving to Austin, using me as your realtor because well, are you going to tell me that you need to be within walking distance of Starbucks or a walking distance of Whole Foods? Is that going to make you spend another $50,000 on the same house? $100,000? Again, just seems like a stretch, but it was interesting, and I just wanted to point it out to y'all. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a great day. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to comment, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And if you have any questions about real estate in Austin or in Texas in general, give me a shout. My team and I are here to help work for you. Talk to you soon.